Good evening. Welcome to Cryptid Crunch. I am your host, Willow Skylor. Tonight, I have a special guest for you tonight. So we'll get to it. All right, so unfortunately, Keisha will not be joining us tonight, but Johnny will be.
Hey there, friends and foes. Good evening, multiverse. I am so excited to have a Sunday night available to
Yeah,
join
what
Willow
is?
to talk about the Dover Demon.
You just told the ghost that you'll be back next week, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily, I've got some help finally. So I'm able to do some things on Saturday and Sunday nights, and I'm not having to be walking around the city 4 nights a week, just 2 nights a week. So that's been a blessing. And so yeah, and I thought this weekend was just going to be super chill and relaxed. And no. Um, after going to the comic book shop Saturday morning, then it was time to go up to Clarksville, where my daughter is the lead costumer for the musical Urinetown.
I was hearing the conversation from yesterday's show.
Yeah, and so we went up there, and it was a whole evening thing, and that was fantastic. The show is amazing. What a you wouldn't think it would be great, but it's great.
Tell our audience what the concept of this musical is.
So Urinetown is about the United States in the future, and it's been 20 years of drought. And because of that, private water usage has been outlawed, which means you can't have a private toilet. You have to use the public paid toilets. And there's a huge disparity between the rich people's public toilets and the poor side of town, the other side of the tracks, because they have to use the true public toilet. And you know what that's all about. If you've ever used public transit, you get you get me.
Well, it's funny because Winnipeg at one point, we were a classy city. We had what were called comfort stations, and they were like underground bathrooms.
Okay.
And they were, I remember them clear as day. I remember being in a couple of them downtown. They got rid of them. They has since closed them up, and I'm guessing they sealed them or whatever because of the homeless population. But it was like, I came across a few of like the blueprints from them, and they actually kind of look like the TARDIS. There's a couple of them that I'll send you the file. But well, yeah.
Spoiler alert. The poor people of the, what was it called? It wasn't dispensary, but it was station number 9.
Oh.
They got sick and tired of living under the threat of being sent to Urinetown. Urinetown is where you got sent if you broke the law with public urination, or you couldn't pay, or if you had a what do you call it, not a pirate, but like your own secret toilet that contraband toilet, and so they rise up to overthrow the overlords that basically enforce the pay to pee law. And it was fantastic. It was nominated. I think it might have won the Tony for Best Musical the year that it was released. But I had never seen it until last night. It was great. And then today, went and saw a production of Mozart's Requiem. My wife was singing in it, and full, like, 120 voice choir, full orchestra. It was spectacular.
Dude, you just have like a very talented family.
Well, I was supposed to be singing in it, and they decided to do rehearsals on Thursday nights.
Oh,
And Thursday nights are ghost tour nights. That is my performance night. And I could have gone to the dress rehearsal yesterday afternoon and sight read it and performed it today, because I've sung Mozart's Requiem at least twice in the
mhm.
past. So I know the music, but I didn't feel like that was fair to the other singers who put in
Yeah.
8 weeks of rehearsal. So today I was just a spectator, and it was pretty phenomenal. It was nice for a change to sit back and just be, both nights, Saturday night and this afternoon, to just be entertained and not have to be responsible for
Yeah.
any
And,
of.
and besides, you're like you're taking a year off to recoup from all the
Yeah, but I
all the
gotta tell you,
entertainment that you've done last year.
well, and for the 30 years prior, and I gotta tell you, I'm getting itchy. I'm getting cabin fever, and but
let's
it's good
let's work on
because,
that show and bring you back, bring you up to Winnipeg for the Winnipeg Fringe Festival.
well, and so that is the thing. When I get restless, when I get bored, when I get cabin fever, I start getting very creative. And I've already written a new show for 2025 that I think is going to be the best thing I've ever done. I'm super excited
Ooh,
about it. So
I can't
I'm
wait to hear more.
actually in development and rehearsal for it, and I'm going to try to launch it in February 2025.
Awesome. So, wow, we got lots of comments already.
Yeah, we do.
So, Dan Hollyfield, hello.
Hello,
Welcome,
Dan.
welcome to the chat. We have Carl Witzman. Good evening.
Well, he says good evening, Dan. He
Good
didn't even
evening,
say hi
Dan.
to
Oh,
us.
wait. He's saying hello.
I think Carl Witzman is the Dover Demon.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that shape of head that he has, and he's saying hi to his wife Donna, Carlene.
Well, I've met Carl and Donna in person, and trust me, when the book describes the Dover Demon as having a melon-shaped head, hi Carl, love you.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, our friends are having a whole conversation in the chat.
And then we have Dawn Dula.
Hey Dawn, how are you? I met her at HoloCon last year for the first time.
I will make it my way down there and hang out with you guys one of these days.
Well,
I promise you.
All of the people in the chat right now have one thing in common besides this show. They have all attended and been guests at HoloCon. Even Eli T. Cash, who was with me one year that I was booked as a guest, and he has the world come to an end, he asks. Speaking of the devil, Eli T. Cash. I don't know. Has it come to an end?
I don't think so. I'm not collecting bottle caps for currency yet. So
Willow, I know that we are talking about the Dover Demon tonight, but Eli T. Cash is in the chat, and he lives here in the same town I live in, Gallatin, which is north of Nashville. And Eli, this is so serendipitous. Yesterday, someone posted on the Hip Gallatin Facebook group asking, I've heard there are tunnels under Gallatin. Is this true? And the answer is yes, it is true. There are tunnels all throughout Middle Tennessee, but in Gallatin, there were a series of tunnels built during the Civil War underneath the city for various purposes. But one of the legends is that there are diminutive imps, fae, fairies, Tommyknockers who
Ooh.
roam those tunnels. And sure enough, Eli, someone popped up into the chat and said, "Oh, it's real. I've seen them. I was chased by a goblin through the tunnels
Oh.
under Gallatin."
Oh.
We're gonna have to do. I know we talked about Tommyknockers some time back. I
We
think
may
we
need to
may.
revisit, because I feel like there's got to be someone out there who's been a coal miner and
Yeah.
have seen them personally.
And then this week, I mean, I don't know, getting ready for this show, all kinds of things started popping up on my feed this week. I got a video of Bigfoot from
Yes.
13 years ago.
Yes, and you sent it to me, and I have it right here.
Come on, Willow. Now, look, I thought that was brand new footage, but you told me it was
I had to
from
look
13 years
into.
ago.
I had to look into it. I did my reverse lookup and found out that it was a video from 13 years ago. But
Well,
yeah,
truthfully, that's not that long ago. And look, that looks really convincing to me.
The head kind of looks a bit big. Kind of reminds me of a buffalo, but that.
Well, you can see the hair is matted in different directions, which is an interesting. If you were going to fake it, that's not something someone would think to fake, because that's something that naturally would, happen in the wild. Long hair gets matted and goes crazy in different directions. But when you say it looks like shaped like a buffalo head, to me, it looks like the back of the cranial arch, which is very, very a distinctive feature of great apes. I mean, that looks real to me. And look, I am an avid member of the Bigfoot community, and I debunk videos all day long as fake. When they're fake, I'm going to say they're fake. But when I see one like that, oh, I get so excited.
Like, I know that there are lots of creatures out there that we have no idea about, and I know Bigfoot and Sasquatch reside in both our countries.
No, well, not just our countries. In every country in the world, on every continent on the planet, they have almost identical stories. And the historian in me, the biblical scholar in me, the mythologist in me, says that there are no coincidences. And when you have something that is so prevalent in so many cultures everywhere in the world, there's got to be truth there somewhere.
It still just aggravates me, because there's so many people that put out those trail cams and capture all kinds of weird images, but trail cams aren't reliable.
Yeah, because they're not true video. They're stop photo, stop action photo. But I was having this discussion actually this afternoon in a big group, and the guy was asking, well, what other kind of archetypes are there that are actually real from history? And the answer is really simple. There are two that we can directly point to. One is dragons. I believe dragons were real and were hunted into extinction. But even if they were just myth, the basis of the myth exists today. Crocodiles, alligators, monitor lizards, the Komodo dragons. These are giant lizards. And did you see that picture from Australia this last week of the crocodile that was so big they thought it was an island at first?
Oh, no, I did not see that one, but
It's
that's
enormous. And that's the nightmare fuel that spawned the legends of dragons. But let's put that aside. Let's say dragons are just mythological. Mountain gorillas. Mountain gorillas were a myth. They were whispered in legends, and science debunked their existence by saying the same thing that Sasquatch deniers say. Well, there's no physical proof, there's no hair, there's no DNA samples, there's no clear photographs. And all of that was true about the mountain gorilla. But in 1925, it was proven that they existed. And it took from 1925, Willow, until 1967 when Diane Fossey invested her life's work into documenting the mountain gorilla population. She did a complete census of the mountain, but it was from up until 1925, they were myth and legend. And it took from 1925 to 1967 for them to actually be recognized, cataloged, and indexed as a species.
oh, interesting.
So I think Sasquatch is in the same category.
Well, okay, wasn't there wasn't there not monkeys? Wow, orangutans and other ape-like creatures that escaped a lab at one point in the States?
Oh, that's yeah. Oak
Yes.
Island, Oak Island research. But there is an island in Florida that was used as the set for a Tarzan movie during the silent film era, and they brought in monkeys, chimpanzees, and they just left them there. And so the island is today it's inhabited solely by monkeys, and it's called Monkey Island. You can go there and visit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was actually true or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does amaze me though that in North America that we don't have wild monkeys like they do south of the border. Mexico, South America, they're everywhere. And like Japan, in the mountains of Japan, the snow-covered mountains, they've got the snow monkeys that thrive in cold weather. And I've never been able to understand why we don't have native or wild monkeys in North America. For that matter, we should have elephants and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
I don't know. Like the U.S., a lot of your states are overly populated with human.
No.
No.
There's no population problem in the United States. There is in New York, there is in maybe Chicago a little bit, and there is in LA. Those are the dense population centers of the United States, but the rest of our country is wide open, unexplored wilderness. It's a lot like Canada, Willow. Yeah. We're very similar in that regard.
Okay. Carl Woodsman says it's odd that we don't have monkeys in Florida or Southern California, at least.
I know. Do they observe borders? Are they better at observing the southern border than some of the migrant workers?
Or maybe they learn to adapt to their surroundings and are part of the population. I mean, Robin Williams kind of looked a little hairy, if you catch my drift, but I don't know. Oh yeah, Eli is giving us hashtags. Monkey Island, the island, not the video game. Please don't sue. Hashtag Disney.
Well, the Monkey Island in Florida existed before the video game, so.
And is it? There's rumors, or is there actually another Planet of the Apes movie coming out?
Oh yeah, next month. I think it's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
I love the Planet of the Apes movies.
Okay.
Now, let me preface that though. I love the original Planet of the Apes movies with Roddy McDowall as Cornelius, and that the original one is maybe one of the top 5 best science fiction movies ever made. The newer ones, the contemporary ones, they have technological improvements, but they lack a lot of the storytelling charm of the originals.
Yeah.
Will I still go see it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I enjoy them for like the hard work that people put into it for filming it, and for like the costume work and the makeup. But I don't know. Planet of the Apes was never that type of movie that excites me. I don't know.
Well, it's the first movie that left the audience with more questions than it answered, and it demanded that they do sequels that were actually prequels.
Mm.
And they went back and they told part of the story in 4 other films. So there were 5 movies total in the original, and this one coming out next month is the 4th, and they're of the new ones, and they're following the same kind of pattern, telling the story how they got, but the new films are dragging it out much longer. In the original series, 1 movie told the story that 4 movies are telling now.
Yeah.
That drives me a little bit crazy.
All right. So there's a lot of conversation happening in the chat.
Love it.
Eli has a few comments that I won't put up on the screen.
No. We need to put this one up. He puts hashtag you damn dirty apes. Listen, Charlton Heston, that's a quote from the original Planet of the Apes. Perfect. So Carl Witzman says, Dover Demon.
All right.
It's all relative, Carl. We're talking about cryptids and monkeys and giant apes.
Yeah. So the Dover Demon kind of took me on an interesting ride around the internet. And
I've got to be honest with you, Willow. This is new to me. Until you said this is what we're going to cover, I'm like, what? So I consulted a book that I love called Chasing American Monsters. And it has a short couple paragraphs about the Dover Demon from Dover. What state?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Or like my mom used to call it, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's a common mispronunciation in the United States, by the way.
It took me a while. I'm like, in order to do the video for TikTok, I had to say that word over and over just to get it right in my head. But for some reason, my tongue just doesn't want to work.
All right, here we go.
That word.
Repeat after me. Massa. Chew. Sets.
Okay.
Massachusetts. Sets.
Okay.
Massachusetts. Oh, now you say it.
Massachusetts.
Ta-da! So tell us about the Dover Demon, because I'm learning with our audience.
All right. So the Dover Demon is an alleged cryptozoological. Wow, there's a word that I can't say again. Cryptozoological creature that was sighted in 3 separate occasions in the town of Dover, Massachusetts, on April 21st and 22nd, 1977. It
I
has
was
remained
7 years old, by the way.
ooh,
That's the same year Star Wars came out, by the way.
I can see why nobody has seen it, and apparently there's something exciting happening with my husband right now.
It's a hockey game.
It has remained a subject of interest for cryptozoologists ever since then. Cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman was the initial investigator and the individual who named the creature the Dover Demon. It was disseminated by the press and the name stuck. Coleman quickly assembled and brought into the inquiry three other investigators, Joseph Neyman, Ed Fogg, and Walter Webb. All were well-known ufological researchers in eastern Massachusetts, with Webb being the assistant director of the Hayden Planetarium at Boston Science Museum. So yeah, the encounters there's been a couple of them. The Bartlett sighting, the Dover Demon was first sighted at night by three 17-year-old boys who were driving through the Massachusetts area when the car's headlights illuminated it. Bill Bartlett, the driver, reported that he saw what he thought at first was a dog or a cat, but upon closer inspection, realized that it was a bizarre, unearthly-looking creature crawling along the stone wall on Farm Street. And I have a picture of his drawing. And although I'll read on further for the Bartlett continued to watch the creature as he reported it to have disproportionately large watermelon-shaped head and illuminated orange eyes like glass marbles. It had long, thin arms and legs with slender fingers, which it used to grasp onto the pavement. It was hairless and had rough flesh-toned skin, described as tan and sandpaper-like. The creature's appearance was very plain, with no nose or ears, and no mouth was seen. The witness drawings portrayed its head. The drawings portray its head as having a skull shape, forming the contour of the circle on top, with a more elliptical ending projecting down to include where the nose and mouth would be. The Dover Demon was also thought to become invisible or translucent in the night. By day, it hid deep in the forests of Dover, Massachusetts. So there's the Baxter sighting. The creature was sighted again an hour later by John Baxter, who was 15, and Pete Mitchell, who was 13, as they were walking home. He said it was bipedal and ended up running into a gully and standing next to a tree. Barben Traynor sighting. The next day, Abby Barbham was 15 at the time, and Will Traynor, 18, claimed to have seen a similar-looking creature from Traynor's car. On the side of the road, Barben's description matched Bartlett's and Baxter's descriptions, except this time the cryptid had illuminated green eyes instead of red. She approximated its height as about the size of a goat. Investigators attempted to shake up Miss Barham by noting it had green eyes reflected by car headlights, while Bartlett mentioned orange eyes were reflected back at him by his automobile lights. Ms. Barham was steadfast in her description. So, what do you think?
So, okay. So, as you were sharing this, I'm looking at other images, and every image, every description is pretty similar. But one thing stands out to me. None of them to me look like a goblin or a fairy type creature. Not like the traditional Tommyknockers or gremlins. what it looks like to me is an alien, like a gray.
Yeah.
The way that grays are described. And I'm just looking to see if there were any UFO sightings reported that same time period.
Mm.
Aha. One cryptozoologist site calls it an alien cryptid. Oh, here's a UFO sightings map for Massachusetts. Let's see what we get for. Oh no, it doesn't have by date. You know what? I would love to know if there were any UFO sightings in that same week. Because I'm not saying it's an alien, but it's aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that makes me dubious about this. And I know everyone's going, wait a minute, John's the skeptic? Yeah, right now I am, because the witnesses are all teenagers. 3 17-year-old kids, 2 15-year-old kids. I mean,
Yep.
come on. If one of the witnesses was a Navy SEAL and the other was, Carl Sheridan, the police officer, I'd be a little bit more willing to give this some credence.
And I have to tell this story because okay, so I'm no longer friends with this guy, and you guys will find out why. So years ago, before I got married to Joe, I was dating another guy, but we were driving back, I think from Winnipeg, and one of our friends in the back seat, he's looking out and he goes, "Do you guys see that?" And we're like, "See what?" It's like, it looks like a white creature following our car. And I'm just like, white creature? And he's like, "Oh, never mind. It's just the light shining on the train tracks." And I'm just like, are you high?
How do you confuse lights reflecting with a creature? What?
It's like it's like the size of a deer. And I'm just like, I don't see anything. Yeah, what he was seeing was the moonlight reflecting from on the train tracks.
Okay. So here's the closest thing I found. The Allagash abductions of 1976, Allagash, Massachusetts. I don't know how close that is to Dover. But all 4 of the witnesses under hypnosis described a creature very similar to the Dover demon. And could it be, just hear me out here, could it be that these teenagers, like me, in 1977, were fans of shows like In Search Of, and they saw these abductions reported in, the alternative press or even the mainstream press, who knows? And they believed so hard that when they saw a hairless cat, they were convinced it was an alien creature.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, the hairless cats are kind of creepy.
I mean, because look, I fully believe in chupacabra, but I also believe that we have figured out what it is. It's a hairless coyote. And our friend Daryl, the Geek Gumshoe, did a great episode of Case Files of the Geek Gumshoe, and he pretty much confirmed it's a hairless coyote.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that being the case, because that's still terrifying. So in this case, I think the Dover demon is someone's
Might be
house
like
cat,
a sphinx cat, or well, okay.
or
There's
or
also
it got loose and it got mange and lost all its hair.
ooh.
And because mange, you get that scaly psoriasis type of skin. That that's my story. That's what I'm going with.
Actually, I kind of agree with you on that. That does sound very familiar. Okay, so on on social media, if you guys happen to follow a cat called Pixel, um, Pixel and Sophie, people tend to think that this cat is a Sphinx cat, and he's not. Trying to remember what kind of cat he is.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now.
I'll try to find a picture of him.
He looks like a Siamese. Is he a hairless Siamese?
He actually does have hair. That's the thing. Like,
Oh, but wait, maybe Sophie is the hairless one. Or no, yeah. So the one is a Siamese. He's got hair, but the other one is, oh wow, Pixel looks terrifying. See, if I saw this cat, because he's got super long super long fangs, huge ears, and these huge, like impossibly big eyes, and he's got fur on his chest, but it doesn't look like there's any fur on his legs. If I saw this cat in the wild, I would think it was a demon or an alien.
yeah. Okay, what I'm. But
And
yeah,
she
like
puts
she
clothes
puts
on him.
costume on.
Look, look, this cat is horrifying enough. Let's not put clothes on the demon cat. Let's tempt that evil and bring it into our house.
I kind of think he's cute.
Well, and Carl Witzman says Sphinx cats look like Siamese cats, but put that picture up there again, just for Carl Witzman's reaction. He says, "Holy moly, exactly."
Yep.
That's terrifying.
But I know, like these things.
Now
Like
you
the thing is,
imagine
these
this
things
cat.
are out there in the wild, and yeah, I can see people thinking that they're alien, or cryptids in a way. Um, but yeah, like
Yeah, I mean, look, if I saw that in the wild, because I've never seen one of those before. If I saw that in the wild, I would be flipping out. And what is that? There's actually a fox, a breed of fox that is as big as a wolf,
mhm.
and they sometimes call it a wolf, a wolf fox. It has got this big mane that looks like almost like a lion, and these super long legs, and it looks mean as hell. But it's a friendly little fox. It's not a little fox, it's a big fox. But foxes are incredibly social animals. They love coming up to people and interacting. And yet people spot this thing and they've never seen one before and they think it's a monster.
Yep.
And misidentification happens all the time in cryptozoology. So I think the Dover demon is maybe misidentified, but you found something else about a Native
I
American
it
legend.
it has a connection to Canada.
Okay.
Uh, so the Dover demon, if you look further, uh, it it'll take you to the Mannegishi. The
Mannegishi.
Mannegishi.
That's just fun to say. Mannegishi.
It's a native Canadian term of cryptid. Uh, According to one Cree myth, to the Cree mythology, there are two humanoid races, one being a familiar human species and the other being the little people. The Mannegishi. Yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And I actually, this is again an example of just about every culture on every continent has stories about little people, not dwarves like we traditionally know them, but like doll-sized, perfectly proportioned people. And those legends exist on every continent. And I mentioned this before. Here in Tennessee, a farmer found a graveyard of what they call American pygmy, and some like 130 graves of these small, perfectly proportioned skeletons. So the what is it called in Canada?
The Mannegishi.
Mannegishi. See, I believe those probably were real. And they've just, died out or been, hunted into extinction or bred out of existence, or they still exist in small pockets and are living underground in tunnels under major cities in North America today.
And the interesting thing about that is there was one spotted in Toronto in underground, of all things. And I do have the okay. So I have the picture of that, and similar looks, red eyes, slender body, long arms.
Now, I've actually seen a video of a cave explorer who captured this on video. Something very similar to what you're showing. It peeks out from around the corner. The flashlight flashes in its eyes, and it's gone. Like in a split second, it all happens. And again, there's so many stories like this. There's so many legends, not just in the US, but in Europe and all over the world, that I've got to think that there's probably some truth. And have you seen recently? I mean, this is like within the last 12 months, there was an undiscovered tribe discovered. I don't know if it's in Middle Asia or in South America, but of pygmy people. And their video, you can see the documentary film. And they have long hair that grows. It's become overgrown and matted, and they're almost jet black, but they're diminutive. And they're clearly humans, but they have lived in isolation as a tribe for so long, and we've just never seen them before now. So this stuff is being discovered every day.
Yep.
Someone out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. They've seen that video of the pygmy people.
I'll have to look it up for sure. But yeah, the city of Toronto once had numerous streams and waterways that now exist underground, buried and running through tunnel and sewer systems. The Algonquin tribes of Canada, including Cree, spoke of small men-like hairy creatures, the Mannegishi, that thrive in these rivers before they were hidden away from the public. In 1978, a similar monkey-like creature was sighted living in an underground tunnel in Toronto.
Well, that's what I believe. It's probably a monkey. Someone set this monkey loose in Toronto, and it found its way down to the sewer because that's where, actually, believe it or not, a lot of food can be available.
I mean, again, I just feel like it's if they are monkey-like creatures, they definitely managed to find their way into our society. There's lots of weird, hairy-like creatures that thrive in our society.
Okay, so Carl Witzman says it's the folks of North Sentinel Island near India is similar to what I described. And they were just discovered like recently.
Those aren't the ones that were that Christians were trying to.
No, that was
invade.
No. That was that's an interesting story. It was made into a movie called Tip of the Spear. And some American missionaries from Tennessee, actually, went to an unreached tribe in, I don't know if it was the Congo or South America. I can't remember where. And they went to evangelize them. And the natives were cannibals, and they killed them and ate them. But here's what's remarkable. Through, other people came, and eventually that entire tribe, they apologized, they gave up cannibalism, and they became Christians, and they are now a Christian tribe. It's a fascinating movie. Tip of the Spear. It's a true story.
Eli goes, creatures finding their way into society. Wait, we're talking about cryptids, not me.
No, we're talking about you, Eli. We are definitely you are definitely a diminutive cryptid.
Dan says Tarsier. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think that's right. I don't know what that is. Tarsier. Now I got to Google it.
Yep.
You guys make us Google stuff.
Welcome to Cryptid Crunch, where we're going to make you Google stuff.
Okay, so they are primates. A Tarsier is a family of primates. Although the group was prehistorically more globally widespread, they are today living in the maritime Southeast Asia. Okay, so this is definitely a possibility. So if you can get a picture of a Filipino Tarsier, this, I know people have seen these and thought that they were alien creatures because it looks like an alien creature, but they're a breed of monkey. And while you're looking at that, Carl Witzman says, Donna, the cannibals that John described in the movie sound like those on an episode of Josh Gates, where they couldn't step on that tree. Well, it could be, Carl. I mean, those undiscovered, unreached tribes are all over the place. I mean, we're discovering new people in the Amazon rainforest, in the Congo, that we never knew were ever there before.
See, I'm so glad that I'm learning about these creatures, because people like me need to stop thinking that, oh, it's so cute, I want to cuddle it.
Well, so here's the funny thing about this. This does look horrific, but these are incredibly social, very sweet animals.
Until it tries to rip off your face.
Well, no, because you see the reason they have such big eyes is because they're mostly nocturnal, and they eat fruit and insects. So they're of no worry to people.
Yeah. Don says the same thing. I want to cuddle it. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
So Dan makes an interesting distinction. He says they're non-monkey primates, as Carl said, akin to but not identical to lemurs. They're primates. So they've got an opposable thumb. They can hold a cup or a knife. That's all you need to know.
Makes me thank God that my cat, who was polydactyl, couldn't open doors.
Wait, polydactyl. That sounds like a
extra,
dinosaur.
Yeah, he had extra toes.
Oh, really?
He had thumbs, but he couldn't. He'd open boxes and cupboard doors, but he couldn't open doors. He couldn't figure out.
Yeah, you couldn't, because you have to be able to grab. You have to have opposable thumbs to grab and turn, and only very few species of animals have that. Humans, apes, primates, and raccoons, and otters. Yep.
Oh yeah, exactly. They're also known as Hemingway cats.
The
polydactyl.
Polydactyl. I've never heard that phrase. Sounds like pterodactyl. Giant flying lizard birds.
Well, I mean, I do have a cat that sounds like one. When he meows. Yeah. That's actually his nickname.
Pterodactyl?
Yep.
I love that. Oh, so while I was Googling.
We can cuddle anything. We're humans. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yep. That's about right, Dan Hollyfield. Yep.
That's why you get stories like Florida man tries to cuddle with an alligator.
Listen, I've been watching some Florida man videos, and there's some crazy mofos down in Florida that are laying down with alligators and like kissing alligators on the face. And I'm just like, you people are crazy. Why would you do that? And like one guy has an alligator that he walks on a leash as a pet. Now here's the thing. I get it. He's like, oh, I raised him since he was a hatchling, since a baby. He knows me. But here's the problem. This has been scientifically documented. Reptiles, have no memory. They don't remember people.
Oh.
They can't remember you. They have no loyalty to you. So Carl says,
sorry.
My theory is that heat boils their brains. Thank you, Carl Witzman.
But I mean, you'd think that people from Louisiana would have that same issue, but
oh, they do. Oh, they do. That whole area of the country. Listen, Willow, you have not experienced crazy until you come to the United States. And all of the United States is crazy. But South Florida and South Louisiana specifically, they are certifiable nutbags.
See, okay, I'm going to have to say that Canada has her own nutbags. Hence why a lot of people from Manitoba go to Florida.
Well, exactly. That's the final destination.
Oh yeah. Carl, Dan says that's why we have at least two of the fiercest species of predators to ever exist sleeping around our campfires and on our beds at night.
So we used to have, my parents used to have a condo in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And one night, maybe about 9 or 10 at night, my little brother was out on the swing by the pond. And he's just swinging, it's a big bench swing. And he's just swinging gently. And all of a sudden, he feels the brush against his leg. And he turned to look, and he didn't see anything at first. And then he turned back toward the pond and he saw the alligator tail going into the water. He ran.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a euphemism to use. I can't think of one, but he ran like the Dickens. He ran like the devil was on his back.
That alligator was not hungry enough, I take it.
Well, apparently, from what I hear, they don't like the taste of human flesh.
Oh, I thought that was shark for some reason.
Well, shark too. Shark will take a bite out of you and then let you go. They never eat the whole thing. Huh. Just enough to get a taste and be like, yeah, I don't like that. Or some people just say it's their way of saying hello. It's a hello bite. Hello. Ah.
Yeah, we're too salty.
That's probably true.
Too salty and too fattening. All right.
Well, that's a survival mechanism. So everybody out there listening, if you want to survive an attack by a shark or an alligator, you just load up on salt and eat as many carbs as you can.
Don't shower and eat a lot of junk food.
Well, then you'd be susceptible to pigs. And pigs do like the taste of human flesh.
Okay. Pigs will eat anything.
And they'll eat you. I'm just saying.
Yep. All right. So, Johnny, thank you very much for joining me on this show. We took some interesting turns. So, yeah.
Let's see. We went from Sasquatch to it gave me a thumbs up on the screen. I like that. We went from Sasquatch to dragons to Dover demons to aliens to crazy Florida people, alligators and sharks, and then ended up with man-eating pigs.
That's because
you're welcome.
The show is never on track in the way I like it.
Well, there are enough shows out there that just give you the facts, ma'am. Only here can we be irreverent and, give you the facts of the case, but then say, I don't know. And that's why we have no other cryptozoologist specialists who want to be on our show, because we don't take it seriously enough.
I forgot to put this warning up at the beginning. The following podcast may be disturbing to some diehard cryptid hunters. We're all here to have a good time, so sit back, have a drink, and let's learn together about myths, monsters, and legends. And there's a reason
now
why...
you play that. Yeah, now you put that up. Way to go there, Willow.
I always forget to put that up.
Everybody, we are podcast professionals. Do not try this at home.
There is a reason why I describe the show as very tongue-in-cheek. And we don't take ourselves serious at all. So don't expect to have a serious conversation with us about cryptids.
Well, there's so much we could talk about. And, Dan Hollyfield has a great comment. Well, first of all, Carl Witzman says, and here I thought that it was Keisha that threw things off track. No, we just tend to give Keisha a longer leash. And then Dan Hollyfield says, someone once thought that giving food to saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves was a good idea. And that's how we got cats and dogs eventually. So what are you saying, Dan? Are you saying that snuggling up with alligators is going to give us some kind of domesticated lizard that we take on walks in the backyard? What are you saying? I guess that's how evolution works.
Humans will try to domesticate anything. Like, honestly, we'll see something that looks cute enough to want to take home. So
that's the only explanation for flea circuses. I think I just broke Willow.
All right, Johnny, where can we find you on social media?
Everywhere. Johnny Beyond on social media. But you know what? You can find us at cerealboxnetwork.com or backofthecerealbox.fun. That is a great place to start. And yeah. So
and we're also on Patreon.
Yes,
so
we are.
If you like the show and you want to contribute to getting us upgrades on our technology,
actually, there's no problem with your technology, Willow. You just need it closer.
I'm sorry.
There you go. There you go.
I need a microphone stand that actually is a little closer. You're right.
Yeah, we need a boom stand. One of those swing arm boom stands. You can put it right here.
I promise you, I will clean my office so that I can put my computer up there.
Yeah. You've been saying that for 2 years now, Willow. We all know that ain't gonna happen. So, Willow, so if you put that microphone real close and whisper with that sexy voice.
All right. Patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast.
Oh my God. That makes me want to contribute.
All right. You guys can find me all over social media. I am somewhat the social media socialite. I'm also on Threads. So yeah, find me Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all over. So yeah, you guys have a great evening. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, keep finding those cryptids for us.
Mwah.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
Hits like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson, and Mickey Mouse.